Assalamualaikum dear students, welcome to NIPS Home School. Hope you all are fine by the grace of Almighty. This is Kamrun, Assistant Teacher of English, National Ideal English Version School, Day Shift. My dear students of class 10, today I am going to take your English second paper and our today's topic is Preposition Part 2. So let's start our class. Okay, this one is lecture 4 and there will be a homework. This one is also 4 and in preposition part 2. Okay, our today's topic is preposition part 2. So there's another class on preposition, that one is part 1 and this one is part 2. So let's start our class today. Today we will know about the use of some preposition like okay, at first we will start with in. When you will use in. In is used to indicate a period of time in the future. Okay, in the preposition in can be used to indicate the period of time in future. Okay, now look, we can a period of time in future. Okay, a period of time in future. Okay, okay, I want to give you an example. He will come in a month. Okay, now look, in a period of time in future. He will come in a month. That means he will come in the future time. So we can use in here. Okay. So you can also use in to indicate within the boundary. Okay, we can also use in within the to indicate within the boundary, within the boundary. Okay, now look at this example. Our school is in the heart of the city. So our school is in the heart of the city. That means if you imagine the city as a boundary, so it is inside the city. Our school is inside the city. So we can use in a period of time in the future or within the boundary. Okay, okay, now we will know about the preposition on. When you will use on, and we use on to indicate on the boundary. Okay, on the boundary. We use on to indicate on the boundary. Now look, Dhaka is on the Buri Ganga. So Dhaka is on the boundary of the Buri Ganga. Okay, so if you want to indicate on the boundary, so you will use the preposition on. Like now look, Dhaka is on the Buri Ganga. So you can use now we will know about the preposition to. If you want to indicate beyond the boundary, if you want to indicate beyond the boundary. Okay, beyond the boundary, you can use to. Okay, let's have an example. The Sundarbans is to the south of the country. So beyond the boundary, okay. The Sundarban is to the south of the country. And now we will know about the use of since and for. Okay, we will know about the use of since and for. I mean, when you will use since and when you will use for. Okay. Sorry, I mean we use since before a point of time. Before point of time, and we use for before a period of time. Okay, let's have example. It has been raining since morning. So before a point of time, now look, before morning we use since, and we use for before period of time. We use for before period of time. So we can write here, it has been raining. It has been raining for 2 hours. So before period of time we will use for. So we will use since before a point of time, and we will use for before period of time. So remember this one. Now we will know about the use of preposition beside and besides. Beside and besides. Okay, let me rub the board. I mean, when you will use beside. We use beside to indicate at or by the side of. Okay, at or by the side of. At or by the side of. Okay. Okay, we can write here, he sat beside me. That means he sat by the side of me. So we will use beside at or by the side of someone or something. And when you will use besides to indicate in addition to indicate in addition to, we will use besides. So if you want to express in addition to, you will use besides. Okay, let's have an example. Besides this pen, I have another nice pen. So in this sentence we use besides to indicate that, to indicate in addition to. Okay, now look, besides this pen, so I have another nice pen. I have another nice pen and I have this pen also. Okay, now we will know about the use of preposition between and among. Okay, between and among. So when you will use between, I know all of you know it. Okay, let's have a review. Okay, between. It indicates between two. Okay, it indicates between two. When you are talking about two person, it indicates to indicates, two, okay, between two, to indicates between two, we use two. Okay, now look at this example. Divide the mangoes between the two boys. So there are two boys and you will divide between these two boys, okay. That means you will indicate two boys, two person or two things, and we use among to indicate more than two. More than two. Like divide the mangoes among the boys. Okay, so when you indicate two person or two things, you will, when you are going to divide among two person, you will use between, okay, between. And when you indicates more than two person, if you want to distribute something, you will use among, okay. Divide the mangoes among the boys, that means there are more than two boys. Now we will know about the use of by. By and with, when we will use by and when we will use with. Okay, now look, we can use by to indicate the doer or the agent, and with to indicate the instrument, okay. We can use by to indicate the doer or agent, and we can use with to indicate the instrument, okay. That means the things we use to do something. Okay, let's have an example. The tiger was killed by the hunter. The tiger was killed by the hunter with a gun. So now look, the tiger was killed by the hunter with a gun. The tiger was killed. So who is the agent here? The hunter is the agent here. That means the tiger was killed by the hunter. So the hunter killed the tiger. So he is the doer or the agent, okay. And which one is the instrument? A gun. That means the tiger was killed by, the hunter with a gun. The tiger was killed with a gun. So gun is the instrument here. That means the hunter used the gun to kill that tiger. So here doer is the hunter. So before doer or the agent we will write by, and before the instrument we will use with, okay. Now we will know about the on and over. That means when you will use on and when you will use over, okay. That means a few minutes ago we have learned that we can use on to indicate on the boundary, right. That means on the surface of something you will use on to indicate on the surface, on the surface of something, I mean surface of a place, surface of a place or something you will use on, like the book is on the table. Now look, the book is on the table. That means the book is on the surface of the table. Okay, and we can use over to indicate above, keeping space. We can use over to indicate above, keeping. We use over to indicate above, keeping space. Okay, okay, let's have an example. The clock is over the cupboard. The clock is over the cupboard. Now look, to indicate above, keeping the space. Now look, the clock is over the cupboard, so it is above the surface and the clock is going on, right? So now look, all of you will go through the classes, I mean YouTube classes of preposition, that is part 1 and part 2, that is lecture 3 and lecture 4, and then you will do your homework. Okay, so you will do your homework number 4, and before doing this homework, all of you will watch the lecture 3 and lecture 4. So fill in the blanks with preposition. A good student is always fond, there is a blank. A, books, he is very attentive. This one is number B, there is another blank. His studies, he tries, there is another blank, number C. He tries dash cut good figure, this one is number D, dash the examination, he never deviates, number E. The studies because success depends, now there is number F, dash her labor. So there are 6 fill in the blanks, and all of you will do it carefully, and you will write the correct prepositions in this fill in the blanks. All of you can take a screenshot of this homework. So take a screenshot and then you will do your homework. And before doing your homework, all of you will watch lecture 3 and lecture 4 from YouTube class, and you can take the help of your book also. So dear students, that's all for today. I hope you have understood our today's topic. All of you will do your homework and submit it on every Saturday on the in the school library. So dear students, see you again. Allah Hafiz.